Once again.
Yes, sir. Okay, sir.
Okay, shall we start? In the previous session, I was talking to you about teams and team building. We have discussed at length about the process of team formation, which is one of the most essential skills these days that are required for anybody, including teachers. In this session, as a continuation of our earlier discussion, I will be taking you towards a new concept, that is leadership and the role of teacher as a leader. Leader, the word is not very strange or new to anybody. Day in and day out, we have been hearing to this word leader in different contexts. The moment you hear the word leader, what comes to our mind is somebody in politics, somebody whom we appreciate as the mass leader. But leaders are everywhere. Instead of me telling you what it is, let me know from your side. The moment you hear the word leader, what comes to your mind? Do you think yourself as a leader? Have you been served in the leadership capacity at any point of time? If so, when? In what way? For this question, if one or two of you can react, please unmute and you can respond to my question. What do you understand by leadership? Do you think you are a leader? If yes, why? Based on that, we can initiate our discussion. Any responses for this?
Well, a leader is one who leads from the front.
Okay.
And who treats his team members equally.
Okay.
And a leader is one who motivates his team members.
Okay.
And who achieves the goal with all the cooperation of the team members.
The basic question is, who is a leader, and do you think yourself as a leader?
A leader is one who leads from the front.
Leading itself is leading at the front, you know.
Sir,
from the back.
Every teacher must be a leader.
Okay. Wonderful.
That is a very important thing.
Uh-huh.
And why he is a leader? Because he leads entire student team and motivate them.
Okay.
And whatever the task he has in his mind, he will achieve or he will circulate into the mind of the students.
Okay.
And so that the students come up with the particular task, or they can achieve a particular task. So hence the teacher must be a leader, and he is a leader.
Okay.
Thank you.
That means all of us who are all the teachers are leaders. Right? All teachers are leaders.
Must be, sir.
Must be a leader. So that leadership is not basically a designation. It is not a designation as such. It is an attitude. It's an act that makes people to take the risk for the sake of guiding others, for helping others, for directing others. It's not a designation. Many a time people confuse leadership as a position. Leadership is not a job even. It is an attitude. It's the mindset. It is the personality. It's a character. Invariably, to become a teacher, one must have this attitude. One must have this character. That's the reason you are all describing it like this. Normally, a leader is one who takes the people on a journey where they have not been before. They have not gone hitherto. When I say journey, it is not necessarily a tool, even in life. One who directs you towards something, where you have not been hitherto, that can be considered as a leadership role. Leaders are everywhere. Leaders may be in politics, leaders may be in religious, spirituality, education. We call them academic leaders. Scientists, in the scientific field, there are leaders, there are religious leaders, spiritual leaders. Leaders are everywhere. There's a popular saying that leaders are like the engine of a train. The speed of the engine determines the speed of the bogies. For an institution, for an organization, for a team, leaders are the powerhouse. They are the people who ignite, and they are the people who make the team to proceed towards its objectives. In a classroom environment, no doubt, I appreciate a teacher is an undesignated leader. Though we are designated as teachers, without a designation, we are all discharging day in and day out the task of leadership. Assume that you are a leader. You are also a leader when you hate and instinctively challenge the status quo. What does it mean? Hating and instinctively challenging the status quo means, leaders are those who normally don't accept the things as they are and who normally don't believe in the status quo. They are the ones who always look for change, something new, something interesting, something different. Can you follow me?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Yes.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Leaders are those who normally wishes to have change and the new things, as a result, hate the status quo. You can also be a leader. You can consider yourself as a leader, provided you have the following qualities or attitudes. What are they? First thing is, you are a leader if you can do things better and know how to do them better without offending those in authority. Why I'm using this word is because leadership is not something like an authority. Leaders normally don't enjoy the formal authority as the boss enjoys. If you are the boss, you are designated. Because of designation, you can make people to obey you, respect you. But for the leaders, it is not the designation that matters. For the leaders, what matters is their personal capacity to influence others. It's a skill. It's a character. Therefore, the moment while doing something or while seeing something, if you think I can do better than what others are doing, and I can be a solution for a problem that the people are facing, that too without affecting or offending those who are in power, that character makes you a leader. Leaders are those who are comfortable being challenged. Leaders are those who are comfortable being challenged. That means when somebody challenges you, when somebody threatens you, if you still take it comfortably, then you can be called a leader. You are a leader if you are comfortable with being under authority. It means again, leaders are those who may not have the power to influence others officially, but still they are comfortable in working with people, helping people, supporting people, even without power. One more most important thing that you need to remember is leaders are those who are comfortable with crediting other people for the things you helped them to accomplish. It is very simple. A leader is one who appreciates the winner, though that winning is because of him. Just imagine when our when our students achieve something great, we feel proud of them, we congratulate them, we appreciate them. Though that achievement is because of our advice, our suggestions, our guidance, we feel proud to congratulate those people. Likewise, even in life, leaders appreciate others for the good work that they have done, though it is done with the help of the leader himself. That means one who comes forward to give credit to others, one who comes forward for sharing victory, sharing achievement with others can be called a leader. Leadership is a very powerful expression, and everywhere we could see the statements about the failed leadership, successful leadership, need for new leadership, something like that. To become a leader, we must know what it is all about. At the first instance, we must understand that leadership is a process. It is a process of influencing people and providing them an environment for achieving individual and organizational goals. At the first instance, a leader is one who is capable of influencing people. Your job is to influence people. How can you influence people? Through your act, through your words, through your ability to set standards of behavior before others. Therefore, it's a process of influencing people and providing for an environment for them to achieve. It is the leader's responsibility to create an ambience or create a system where others can easily achieve their objectives. The objectives that they are achieving must have both individual and organizational dimensions. From both the individual and organizational point of view, leaders must encourage the followers, the so-called followers, to achieve their goals. There is one more definition that says leadership is the catalyst. It is the catalyst. Catalyst is the change agent that transforms potential into reality. Leadership is the catalyst or the power, you can say, that transforms the potential into reality. Potential means what capacities, what confidence, what strength people have that many a time they may not be knowing. It is the leader's job to make them to realize, help them to understand what they are. And am I reaching? Can you follow me?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Okay.
Yes, sir.
Okay. Therefore, here, in order to make them to realize their potential and help them to achieve the purposes. Say, for instance, potential is everywhere. India's greatest potential is the power of the youth. It is the power of the youth. You will be knowing that APJ Abdul Kalam, most of the time when he addresses youngsters, he used by 2020, India will become young. Already we are now at the 2021. What does it mean India will become young means? In terms of Abdul Kalam's visionary thinking, by the time of 2020, the average age of India's population is going to be between 18 to 35 at a higher rate, which constitutes more than 40% of the world's youth's population. As the world's largest size of population are going to be Indians, that is going to be the strength of India. With that strength, India can become the superpower. But that has not happened. If we go in the present speed, forget about 2020, already it is over. Even by 2030, we may not be able to reach over there unless we make use of this potential, that is the young power, in the proper direction. There comes the importance of teachers to play the role of leaders. It is the teachers who can direct the youngsters, guide the youngsters towards proper goals, and help them to realize their potential and make use of it. That's the reason teachers are regarded as one of the powerful pillar of the community, pillar of the society. I appreciate in the beginning, you made an attempt to say that all teachers are leaders. Teachers are respected so much because they are the real social reformers and the builders. The quality of a community depends on the quality of the teachers, like the fate of a community depends on the capacity of the leader. Therefore, here, as Abdul Kalam was mentioning, India's youth need to be properly trained, properly directed. Otherwise, what happens? 2020, it is true that world's youngest population, majority of the youngest population is in India. If it is untapped, if it is not properly used, what will happen by 2040 or 2050? Then the world's oldest population in larger size are going to be in India. Then the country will be into difficulty, as most of the countries today facing the problem of aged people. I'm not saying aged people are a problem, but aged people are to be fed by the youngsters with a dedication, with a commitment, only when they are in a position to do so. In order to do that, we need to plan. We need to convert our potential into reality. Our youngsters must be properly directed. For that, we call for leadership. Therefore, my point is to tell you that leadership is the catalyst that transforms potential into reality. Leadership is the collective network virtual force with powers flowing from a jointly created and shared vision. Leadership is a collective network virtual force. It is an invisible power. Leadership need not be taken as something that's of a great personality with a height, a color, etc. It's a power. It's an invisible attribute, a character, a spirit that makes somebody to have influence over others, that makes somebody to guide others, that makes somebody to be in the midst of people who respects him. Many a time, people with authority cannot do this. In many systems, you might have observed that people with power may be jealous of somebody who can influence others without any power, without any position. Even in the office, people used to say that I am the boss, but nobody looks at me. Everybody listens to somebody's advice, somebody's suggestions. Why it is so? It is because of the fact that it's a virtual force, it's a virtual character that makes people to follow others. Normally, people think leadership comes out of some attributes, some characters. What are they? Many a time, people think that leadership is because of the fact that leaders are those who are powerful and influential. Leaders are those who are powerful and influential. Powerful means what? Power maybe in terms of money power, muscle power, political power, knowledge power. Because of that power, they can influence on others. They can impress on others. One of the simplest definitions for leadership is your capacity to influence and make an impact on others. How can you make an impact on others? It is by your actions. It is by your emotions. It is by your dealings. Normally, people think leaders happens to be people with high intelligence. Not necessary, but people with a concern can become a leader. But usually, it is an expectation that leaders are those who are intelligent. Leaders are those who are capable of mobilizing people and the resources to work towards a common goal. More than anything, who are these leaders? Leaders are those who can effectuate positive change. Leaders are those who can effectuate positive changes. Those who can bring positive changes can be considered as leaders. Change everybody brings, but the change must be for the good. Leaders are those who always think in favor, who always think about the well-being and the good of the majority. Therefore, leaders are those who are capable of bringing positive changes for the community and the majority. One more definition, leaders are the people with high values. When I say values, it is the social values. Leaders are respected because of their values, and they can be taken as a standard for others. Standard. They are the standard for others. People will compare everything with that of this person as the leader, as a role model. Leaders are the socio-ethical role models for others. Because of this character, these are the people who may become popular and well-known, popular and famous. But one peculiar character that we need to remember is they are the people who can operate with a mixture of formal and informal authority. Many a time, formal authority gives you a position, a designation, whereas the informal authority that you can develop with the people through your communication skill, through your caring for people, through your socializing skills, through your helping people at a difficulty, makes you a powerful leader than one with the designation. Therefore, all the time I want to say, leadership is not a position, leadership is not a designation, leadership is a character, leadership is an attitude. That is the reason in the skill development process, we need to make people to become independent in thinking about the good and the bad, and independent in influencing people towards the good. If you ask me a question, what is good? There is no clear definition for what is good. Good is a subjective expression, but we must understand at a given point of time, what is acceptable as good for majority, that must be the priority for somebody who is identified as a leader to take up and help others in that direction. Therefore, leaders always think for the future benefits of his followers, and he is the one who set the direction, who take the people towards journey that they have not been eager to. Make them to think of something which they never thought of. Make them to look into options which they never imagined. That character makes anybody to become a leader. Now, let me tell you precisely what are the functions of leaders or people in leadership. Are you listening?
Yes, sir.
Yes.
Sir.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Thank you. Let me simply present before you the functions of any leader. The most important function of a leader is, at the first instance, to inspire the group members. Leader must be an inspiration for others. Even inside the classroom, a teacher must be an inspiration for his students. Only good teachers or the great teachers can inspire others. Everybody like me can teach. That is not everything. We must make people to get involved themselves. We must kindle their interest. We must create new doubts, new intentions in the minds of the people to work further, to think further. Therefore, leaders must be a source of inspiration for everybody. Because of the selfish attitude, people have become self-centric and they always think about their own achievements and don't come forward to share and inspire others. In a developing society, it is the quality of the leader, it is the commitment of the leader that solves the problem and encourages others to work. Therefore, leader's job is to act as a source of inspiration for the group members to do anything. And he must be the first person. When somebody amongst you give the definition that he is somebody who leads from the front. Yes, leaders always stand in the front. Leaders always come forward to take the risk, come forward to take the blame, because they are the people who are going to make choices and decisions which will affect the fate of everybody. See, if everything goes successfully, nothing will happen. People will accept it as it is. If something goes wrong, it will become a very expensive decision and people will make him liable for that. Therefore, you will be knowing success has many parents and the defeat, is an orphan. It holds good even in case of leaders. If a leader becomes successful, people will take it as it is and they say, when he called for help, I also helped him. It is not he alone, entire team worked for that. When he fails, he has to take the blame individually. People will say, it is because of his decision, this incident happened. He is responsible for that. He must be ready to take both appreciations and the blame. He must be above this. But one most important thing that he has to do is, he must be the source of inspiration for everybody. Another important function that the leaders have to perform is securing cooperation of the team members. Even in my last session, I was telling about the individual differences. Man is the same, but men are different. Team members may come with different intentions. Their likes and dislikes may be different. Everybody is selfish. They look for their own well-being. But the leader, must be able to convince all of them and to take their confidence and make them to work together with a proper alignment. Cooperation. Cooperation can prevail only when you go one or two steps further forward to help others. You can't help all the time others to help you unless you raise your hand and show your helping hand to others. Nobody will come with you. Therefore, a leader is one who is capable of securing the cooperation of others. Another most prominent task of a leader is to create confidence in the minds of people. Confidence is the most powerful asset. Only confident people can make others to become confident. Many a time, people will not have hopes about the future. People will ask a question, will I get a job if I do this course? Will I be able to earn my livelihood? What is the fate of my future and my dependents? There are 100 reasons to get the disappointment these days, but only great leaders, true leaders, can build confidence in the minds of the people. Depending on the type of the team that you are leading, depending on the type of the purpose for which you are leading, at first you have to make your people to be confident of what they are doing. Only confident people can contribute. Success, success comes 99% of the time because of your commitment, your dedication, your efforts. 99% inspiration, just 1% perspiration is okay. If you are inspired, your commitment, your dedication, involvement will be more. But the leader's job is to do that. How he will do? In 1 or 2 minutes, it is difficult to explain. But depending on the situation, depending on the type of the followers you have, you must build confidence in them. Because if you think we can, you can. If you are afraid, you will spread fear only among others. And fear is the worst enemy of any action. And people who are fearful are the enemies of themselves first, and they will spoil others also. But the fear for a good reason is okay. Fear at everything will not put you into any venture. Leaders are those who are confident of themselves and spread confidence among others. Leaders are those, the job of a leader is to provide for a conducive environment and who sets goals for others. Normally, good leaders, they create an ambience, an environment where everybody can work comfortably. Say, for instance, a classroom, a classroom must be a conducive environment for all types of students to learn. In the beginning only, I said there may be different type of students, fast learners, slow learners, no learners, people from educated families, people from illiterate families, rural background, urban background, people with fluency in English, people who struggle to understand English, good in mathematics, poor in mathematics. A true teacher, if he is playing the role of a leader, must create an environment, a level playing field. He must create a level playing field for everybody to participate. And he must concentrate on the real target, people who need his attention, and make them to raise to the level of the others, but not by ignoring them, but giving proper encouragement for both of them for mutual development, mutual understanding. That is the character of a good leader. A leader has to create an environment where everybody thinks, I am also a part of it, I can do something, and I have a share in it. Such a feeling can happen only through good leadership. It's a parenting attitude. It's a parenting attitude. Followed by that, leaders are those who have the capacity to organize and coordinate. Organizing and coordinating is another important function of leaders. You'll be knowing what is organizing. Organizing is an act of assembling and giving proper structure and shape for the relations with authorities and responsibilities delegated in proper type for the people. That can happen and that can lead people towards achieving their objectives. Coordination, you can understand what it is. Coordination means it's proper alignment between different elements. Different elements and different type of individuals must be properly aligned. Then only things can happen in the expected direction. Coordination can be better explained when it is not there. coordination can be better explained when it is not there. If there is no coordination between eyes and the mind, that you can easily understand. If there is no coordination between left eye and the right eye, you can easily understand the difficulty of not having it. If there is no coordination between husband and the wife, students and the teacher, employer and the employee, government and the subject, you can easily understand the difference. Therefore, organizing and coordinating is another important function of leadership. Of all this, the most important function of a leader is to motivate others. What does motivation mean? I'm not going to elaborately discuss this. There are several theories which you can discuss for years together. In simple word, motivation is an act of kindling the inner drive of an individual that puts him into action. It's an act of inspiring. It's an act of encouraging. It's an act of making people to do something or the other. Motivation is the inner fire. It is the inner urge. It is the driver inside every individual that puts him into action. A leader must act as a motivator. Leader must always prepare people to take up responsibility, prepare people to take up the task towards achieving the objectives. There is a popular saying, self-motivation is the best motivation. All the time, people may not be motivated on their own. If there is self-motivation, there is no need of anybody to come and encourage you. You will do your job on your own. But many a time, there is a need to have somebody who can act as a bell sound or an alert for you to put into action. A leader has to do that job. A leader has to ignite the fire inside an individual person. Every one of us are blessed with one or the other extraordinary talent. It is the leader who recognizes that talent and puts us into action. So that the job of a leader is to act as a motivator. And I was telling, motivation is the reason for doing anything that we are doing. You can ask me a question, why are you doing this? The motivation for doing everything may be something monetary and something non-monetary. I'm delivering this lecture because I am paid for this. This is monetary. I'm delivering this lecture because I enjoy talking to teachers. I enjoy lecturing. So that a leader must understand as to how to put people into action, how to make people to work, what inspires them, what is the most powerful thing that can put them into action. All the time, it is not the money that matters. Even for low salary, low wages, people can work for a social cause. People can work for self-satisfaction. People can work for the betterment of others. That a leader must identify and encourage them to take up. Followed by that, a leader's another important job is to control. Leaders must control. When everything fails, if you cannot make your people to work by motivation, say for instance, you can tell your students that work hard, otherwise you will fail in the examination. If you don't score good marks, you will not get a job. If you don't get a job, there will not be respect for you if you are not earning anything. In spite of all this, if they don't work, the last resort is to control them. It is to put a standard and make them to do as it is. Controlling is an act of restricting the behaviors of the people. Inside the classroom, when all our attempts fail, we need to go back to this traditional method of managing, that is controlling. But I am the one who believes that control is a negative expression. Nobody likes to be controlled by anybody these days. What people want the most is the freedom. But freedom must be given to only those who deserves it. Am I reaching? Freedom must be given to only those who deserves it and capable of making its better use. Otherwise, you have to control them. You have to dictate and make them to be the follower. These are the characteristics of a leader. I'm happy that many a time you have made a mention that the role of a teacher in making the life of a generation is that of a great leader. What a great leader can do for a country, that a teacher can do it for his students. Students' job, teacher's job as a leader is uncomparable. Our society expects teachers to be the role model for all the leaders. Leaders in any field can commit a mistake, but teachers are not expected to commit a mistake because teachers can influence the society to a greater extent. There is a popular saying, I have been repeatedly telling, quality of a community depends on the quality of the teacher. It is believed that teachers are the role models for everyone. There is a saying, if a doctor commits a mistake, that mistake will be buried. If a doctor commits a mistake, at the most what happens? Patient will die. That mistake can be buried. If a lawyer commits a mistake, at the most, he will lose the case and the client will be hanged. His mistake will be hanged at the most. A doctor's mistake is buried. A lawyer's mistake is hanged. If a teacher commits the mistake, what happens? Do you know what happens if a teacher commits a mistake?
It will change the fate of the nation.
That will spread to generations. That will spread to generations. You must be knowing what happened in a class. In a class, take it as a later instance. In a class, a teacher was dictating notes. Everybody was writing the notes except a person in the last bench. After seeing this, teacher went and asked, hey, why you are not taking the notes? Everybody is seriously writing the note. You are not writing the notes. What does it mean? You are so disobedient. The student said, no, sir. I have your notes at home. How come? My dad was your student, sir. My dad was your student. I have your notes at home. That means teachers, if their mind can develop or spoil the generations. Inside the classroom, what is the role of a teacher? I have taken this just for the sake of sharing with beloved teachers. Look at this. I have come to a frightening conclusion that I am the decisive element in the classroom. Teacher is the decisive element in the classroom. It is you who can make a class interesting or boring. It is you who can make a class responsible or irresponsible. It is my personal approach that creates the climate. See, it is my personal approach to the subject. If I am casual, subject will become casual. Situation will become casual. If I am serious, it will become serious. It is my daily mood that makes the weather. I think I am reaching you. It is my daily mood that makes the weather inside the class. As a teacher, I possess tremendous power to make a student's life miserable or joyous. As a teacher, I have tremendous power to make a student's life miserable or joyous. It can be a tool of torture or an instrument of inspiration. My teaching can be a tool of torture or it can be an inspiration. I don't know whether I am torturing or otherwise. Teachers must know that our acts will either torture or inspire students. I can humiliate or humor, hurt or heal the student's feeling. It is in your hand as a leader. You can hurt somebody, you can insult somebody, humiliate somebody, disturb somebody. As I was telling, in a classroom, there may be genius, children born with certain benefits, certain advantages. At the same time, there are students from background which is not conducive for their studies, which is not helpful for their growth. All are not having the same facility. As I was telling, I don't know whether you agree or not. One of the most common problem that we are experiencing with the students inside the classes is disparity between children from the rural background and the urban background. Children from the fluent English spoken families and the convents, and the children from the rural background with the vernacular. Intelligence is nobody's property. Intelligence is nobody's property, and language and intelligence are not connected at all. But we have come to a conclusion that those who speak in good English are good in everything. If you believe that in the classroom as a teacher, you are neglecting and forgetting other students who have the stuff but don't know how to express it. Am I reaching? Am I right?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Sir.
I can quote you one or two instances that I have seen. One of the students came to me, who was my student, came to me and said, "Sir, after joining this course, I'm losing my confidence. After joining this course, I think I'm useless. When I was in my college, I was the hero there. I used to secure 100% marks in all the subjects in my language. But here, because of the language, I am nobody. I have no friends." I asked him, "What is your problem?" He said, "Sir, here the language of instruction is English and everybody speaks English. As I cannot speak English as everybody, I have no friends." I asked him a question. Your problem is not at all a problem. Why do you think you are useless because you can't speak a language? No language is great on its own. A language will become great because of great people speaking it. Am I reaching? I asked that student, "You said everybody is speaking English, I asked in local language, I asked him, "Who told you that the language they are speaking is English?" He said, "Sir, everybody speaks English." I said, "You are a fool. It is not English. It is English Taraha." Do you know what is English Taraha means? It is like English. 99% of the people who speak English here, including me, are speaking a language which is like English, which is not English at all. Why do you think you don't know English? I have a couple of questions to you. Do you think a baby born in London speaks English natural, speaks Kannada? He said, "How it is possible? If a baby born in London cannot speak Kannada, why do you expect a person born somewhere in Mandya to speak English? It is not your language." But unfortunately or fortunately, that is the link language, that is the business language. That language can be learned. It is not an impossible task. Change your media habits, change your friendship, take the courage to speak that language. However poor it is, you will learn it. I said, "You practice it for a month, then come to me. If at all then you are interested, I will give you your documents, you can go back. But that person never came, and he made an attempt and he has become very successful. And today, when he contacts me over phone or come in front of me, if I start speaking in Kannada, asking him, how are you, Chanagidire, he never uses a Kannada word, he speaks in English only. That's the proud situation for me in my life as a teacher. What I want to convey through this is, talent is hidden. It is the leader's job to identify the talent and encourage people to give it an exposure to make it to come to the light. I can humiliate, humor, hurt, or heal the problem of the students. In all situations, it is my response that decides whether a crisis will be escalated or de-escalated, or a child is humanized or dehumanized. Making the people to be humanized or inhuman is in the hands of the teachers. Teacher is the best leader who can mold a society. In most of the countries, teachers are respected because of this character, and they are the role models for everybody. I'm not going to take you through everything. How can you influence? Teachers' influence on social learning, teachers' influence on the behavior of everybody can be symbolically seen in 5 different ways. First one is, people learn things by looking at the leader as a symbol. As a symbol. You are the role model. People imitate you, like children imitate their parents. 99% students imitate their teachers, or whoever you are imitating, they are your teachers. That's it. Not necessary that teacher is also go by designation. Person with the imitatable character is the teacher or the leader. People use forethought to anticipate, plan, and guide their behavior. They calculate, they think, if I do like that, if I behave like this, what will happen? People learn indirectly. All the time it is not directed. Indirectly, people learn from the behaviors of the leaders. People learn to exhibit self-control by taking personal responsibility as it is shown and directed by the leaders. And people have different levels of self-efficacy. Self-efficacy means believing in themselves to do or capable to do something or the others, something for the sake of others. Again and again, I'm going back. I'm not telling you any theory or something like that about leadership. It is not required at this level. What makes leaders? There are different notions. Some people think it is the money that I have that makes me leader. Some people think it is the education or pedigree that makes me the leader. Some of them think it is my belief, action, personalities, looks, connects, work ethics, chances. Not any one of them. If somebody is a leader because of any one of them, the absence of that will eliminate you from their leadership. What makes real leaders, What makes real leaders? It is the situation. Real leadership will be exposed by situation. Normally, what type of leaders and what type of situations you can find? There are 5 different situations that makes leaders. One is reciprocal leadership. Reciprocal leadership means when somebody did something to you, as a reaction you do another thing, that makes you a leader. It is your reaction, reciprocal attitude, action or reaction that makes you a leader. You may not have thought of responding, but the situation forced you to respond, you become a leader. Transactional leader. Transactional leaders are those who complete the assignment or the transaction given to them effectively. Because of their ability to complete the transaction, they have become leaders. Transformational leader. Transformational leaders are those who thought of bringing a change, who are not happy with the existing thing, who are not happy with the present, who wanted a better future. By bringing that better future, they become the leader. Cooperative leaders are those who are capable of soliciting cooperation of everybody. And adaptive leaders are those, they become leader by adjusting into every situation. These are the things that makes people to become leaders. And leaders are always those who work for the benefit of others, achievement of others, and accordingly, we may have different types of leaders. I'm trying to show it on a graph, a grid. Take it as two axes, x-axis and the y-axis. On the x and y-axis, there are two issues. One is concern for the people. Leaders, those who care for the people, who love the people, who work for the people. On the horizontal axis, we have concern for results. When I say production, it is result. There are two types of leaders. One who care very much for the people. Their concern is to think of only people, people, people. My people must be happy. My people must be good. They must be satisfied. There is another set of people who always speak about results. Your concern for this makes you a different type of leader. See here, on the y-axis, you can find an expression like 1.9, 1 and 9. 9 is on the vertical axis and 1 is on the x-axis or the horizontal axis. That means high concern for people and low concern for result. If you are a person caring very much for people and less for the results, you will become a popular leader. You will become a popular leader because you are caring for only people, not the result. Such type of leaders are called country club leaders, mass leaders, country club leaders. Their thoughtful attention is to care for the needs of the people, make them happy, and not the result. Result is poor. Everybody says, sir, you are good, sir, you are good, sir, you are good. Results are poor. Am I reaching? Am I confusing you?
No, sir.
Okay.
No, sir.
Please. Opposite of that, look at this. 1 and 1. 1 and 1 means not bothered about the result, not bothered about the people also. There will be people with some designation. They are sitting, they enjoy their power. They say, hey, namagen agbeku, yav denadru namagen. ಜನರನ್ನು ಖುಷಿಯಾಗಿಡಲ್ಲ, ಒಳ್ಳೆ ರಿಸಲ್ಟು ಕೊಡಲ್ಲ. ಅಂತವ್ರನ್ನ ನಾವು ಇಂಪವರಿಸ್ಟ್ ಲೀಡರ್ಸ್ ಅಂತೀವಿ. ಇಂಪವರಿಸ್ಟ್ ಲೀಡರ್ಸ್. ಇಂಪವರಿಸ್ಟ್. ಈ ಕಡೆ ನೋಡಿ, ಇನ್ನೊಂದು ಎಕ್ಸ್ಟ್ರೀಮ್ ಇದೆ. This is high people concern, high result orientation. That is called team leadership. True team leaders are those who care for both. ಜನರು ಖುಷಿಯಾಗಿರ್ಬೇಕು, ಫಲಿತಾಂಶನೂ ಬರಬೇಕು. ಉತ್ತಮ ಫಲಿತಾಂಶ, ಉತ್ತಮ ತೃಪ್ತಿ, ಸಂತೃಪ್ತಿ ಜನರಿಗೆ ಬೇಕು ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಅದನ್ನ ನಾವು ಟೀಮ್ ಲೀಡರ್ಶಿಪ್, ಗುಡ್ ಟೀಮ್ ಲೀಡರ್ಶಿಪ್ ಅಂತ. ಅದಕ್ಕೆ ಆಪೋಸಿಟ್ ಆದದ್ದು increased production but very low caring for people. That is called authoritative leadership. Authoritative leadership is one where the leader acts as a dictator, where the leader don't bother about the people. People say, ನಿಮ್ಗೆ ಅರ್ಥ ಆಗುತ್ತೋ ಇಲ್ವೋ ಗೊತ್ತಿಲ್ಲ, ನಾನು ಪಾಠ ಮಾಡ್ತೀನಿ. ನಿಮ್ಗೆ ಇಷ್ಟ ಆಗುತ್ತೋ ಇಲ್ವೋ, ನಾನು ಹೇಳ್ದಂಗೆ ನೀವು ಮಾಡಬೇಕು. ಅಥಾರಿಟಿ. ಇದೆಲ್ಲದಕ್ಕೂ ಮಧ್ಯದ್ದು ಒಂದಿದೆ. That is called middle of the road leadership. Middle of the road leadership ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಜನರು ಖುಷಿಯಾಗಿರ್ಬೇಕು, ಫಲಿತಾಂಶವೂ ಬರಬೇಕು, ಉತ್ತಮವಾದದ್ದನ್ನ ಎಲ್ಲರ ಒಳಗೊಳ್ಳುವಿಕೆಯ ಮೂಲಕ ಸಾಧಿಸಬೇಕು ಅನ್ನೋ ನಾಯಕತ್ವ. ಈ ನಾಯಕತ್ವದ ಗುಣಗಳು ಹೇಗೆ ಬರ್ತವೆ? The source of leadership, there are 5 different sources. One is called the legitimate source of power. Other one is the rewarding source of power, coercive source of power, referent source of power, and the expert source of power. What does it mean? Legitimate power ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಕಾನೂನಿನ ಮೂಲಕ ಕೊಡಲಾದಂತ ನಾಯಕತ್ವ. ಕಾನೂನಿನ ಮೂಲಕ ನನಗೆ ಈ ನಾಯಕತ್ವದ ಸ್ಥಾನ ಸಿಕ್ಕಿದೆ, ಅದಕ್ಕಾಗಿ ನಾನು ಬೇರೆಯವರ ಮೇಲೆ ನಾಯಕತ್ವ ಮಾಡಬೇಕು. ರಿವಾರ್ಡ್ ಪವರ್ ಅಂದ್ರೆ ನನ್ನ ಹತ್ರ ದುಡ್ಡಿದೆ, ನಾನು ಎಲ್ಲರಿಗೂ ಸಂಬಳ ಕೊಡುವಂತವನು, ನನ್ನ ಆರ್ಥಿಕ ಶಕ್ತಿಯಿಂದಾಗಿ ಎಲ್ಲರೂ ನನ್ನನ್ನು ನಾಯಕ ಅಂತ ಒಪ್ಕೊಂಡಿದ್ದಾರೆ. ಮೂರನೇದು ನನ್ನ ದಬ್ಬಾಳಿಕೆಯಿಂದ, ಗನ್ ಪಾಯಿಂಟ್ ಇಂದ ಎಲ್ಲರಿಗೂ ಹೆದರಿಸಿ ನಾನು ನಾಯಕನಾಗಿದ್ದೇನೆ. ಇನ್ನು ನಾಲ್ಕನೇದು ನನ್ನ ಒಳ್ಳೆಯ ಗುಣಗಳು ನನ್ನನ್ನು ನಾಯಕನನ್ನಾಗಿ ರೂಪಿಸಿದೆ. ಎಕ್ಸ್ಪರ್ಟ್ ಪವರ್ ಅಂದ್ರೆ ನನ್ನ ತಿಳುವಳಿಕೆ, ಜ್ಞಾನ, ನನ್ನ ಚಾಕಚಕ್ಯತೆ, ನನ್ನ ಬುದ್ಧಿವಂತಿಕೆ ನನ್ನನ್ನು ನಾಯಕನನ್ನಾಗಿ ಮಾಡ್ತವೆ ಅನ್ನುವಂಥದ್ದು 5 ನಾಯಕತ್ವದ ಮೂಲ ಲಕ್ಷಣಗಳು. ನಾವು ನಾಯಕರಾಗಬೇಕು, ನಾವು ಬೇರೆಯವರು ನಮ್ಮ ಮಾತು ಕೇಳುವಂತೆ ಮಾಡ್ಕೋಬೇಕು ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಇದು ಯಾವ್ದಾದ್ರೂ ಒಂದು ಇರ್ಬೇಕಾಗುತ್ತೆ ನಮ್ಮ ಹತ್ರ. ಅದರಲ್ಲಿ ಯಾವ್ದು ಉತ್ತಮ ಅನ್ನೋದನ್ನ ಆಯ್ಕೆ ಮಾಡ್ಕೊಂಡು ಅದನ್ನ ಅನುಸರಿಸಿದ್ರೆ ಹೆಚ್ಚು ದಿನ ಬಾಳಿಕೆ ಬರ್ತದೆ ಆ ನಾಯಕತ್ವ. ಇಲ್ಲವಂದ್ರೆ ದಬ್ಬಾಳಿಕೆಯಿಂದ ಮಾಡಿದ ನಾಯಕತ್ವ ಹೆಚ್ಚು ದಿನ ಉಳಿಯುವುದಿಲ್ಲ. ಆದ್ರೆ ನಾಯಕರಾಗ್ಲಿಕ್ಕೆ ಏನೇನ್ ಗುಣಗಳಿರ್ಬೇಕು, ಒಬ್ಬ ಉತ್ತಮ ನಾಯಕನಾದವನಿಗೆ ಏನೇನು ಇರ್ಬೇಕು, ಬಹಳ ಬೇಗ ಹೇಳಿ ಮುಗಿಸೋಕೆ ಪ್ರಯತ್ನ ಮಾಡ್ತೀನಿ. ಯಾವುದೇ ನಾಯಕತ್ವವನ್ನು ವಹಿಸಿಕೊಳ್ಳುವವನಿಗೆ ನಾಯಕನಾಗಬೇಕು ಅನ್ನೋ ಹಂಬಲ ಮೊದಲಿರ್ಬೇಕು. ನಾನು ಏನನ್ನಾದ್ರೂ ಮಾಡಬೇಕು ಅನ್ನೋಂತ ಪರ್ಸನಲ್ ಡ್ರೈವ್ ಇರ್ಬೇಕಾಗ್ತದೆ. ಡಿಸೈರ್ ಟು ಲೀಡ್, ಬೇರೆಯವ್ರಿಗೆ ಲೀಡ್ ಮಾಡೋ ಆಸಕ್ತಿ ಇರ್ಬೇಕಾಗ್ತದೆ. ಅವನಿಗೆ ಸೆಲ್ಫ್ ಕಾನ್ಫಿಡೆನ್ಸ್ ಮೊದಲಿರ್ಬೇಕಾಗುತ್ತೆ. ನಾಲೆಡ್ಜ್ ಆಫ್ ಬಿಸ್ನೆಸ್ ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಅವನು ಏನ್ ಮಾಡ್ತಾ ಇದ್ದಾನೋ ಆ ಕೆಲಸದಲ್ಲಿ ಅವನಿಗೆ ತಿಳುವಳಿಕೆ ಇರ್ಬೇಕಾಗ್ತದೆ. ಕ್ರಿಯೇಟಿವಿಟಿ ಮತ್ತೆ ಒರಿಜಿನಾಲಿಟಿ ಇದ್ರೆ ಆಟೋಮೆಟಿಕ್ ಆಗಿ ನಾಯಕರಾಗ್ತೀವಿ. ಪಾಸಿಟಿವ್ ಅಫೆಕ್ಟಿವಿಟಿ, ಒಳ್ಳೆಯದನ್ನೇ ಬಯಸ್ಬೇಕು ಯಾವಾಗಲೂ. ನಾಯಕನಾದವನು ತನ್ನ ವಿರೋಧಿಗಳಿಗೂ ಕೂಡ ಒಳ್ಳೆಯದನ್ನೇ ಬಯಸ್ತಾನೆ. ಒಳ್ಳೆಯದನ್ನ ಬಯಸುವಂತ ಗುಣ ಇರಬೇಕು. ಕರಿಷ್ಮಾ ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಅವ್ರ ಔಟ್ಲುಕ್ ಅನ್ನೋದು ಬಣ್ಣ ಅಥವಾ ಎತ್ತರದಿಂದ ಬರುವಂತದ್ದಲ್ಲ. ಕೆಲವರ ವ್ಯಕ್ತಿತ್ವಗಳನ್ನ ನೋಡಿದ್ರೆ ಕೈ ಜೋಡಿಸಿ ನಮಸ್ಕಾರ ಮಾಡ್ಬೇಕು ಅನ್ಸುತ್ತೆ, ಕೆಲವರು ನೋಡಿದ್ರೆ ತಾತ್ಸಾರದಿಂದ ಅಯ್ಯೋ ಬಂದ್ರಾ ಅಂತ ಅನ್ಸುತ್ತೆ. ಅಂತ ಕರಿಷ್ಮ್ಯಾಟಿಕ್ ಪರ್ಸನಾಲಿಟಿ ಇರ್ಬೇಕಾಗ್ತದೆ. ಎಲ್ಲದಕ್ಕಿಂತ ಹೆಚ್ಚಾಗಿ ನಾಯಕನಾದವನು ಮೊಟ್ಟ ಮೊದಲಿಗೆ ಅಳವಡಿಸ್ಕೋಬೇಕಾದದ್ದು ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಫ್ಲೆಕ್ಸಿಬಿಲಿಟಿ ಅಂಡ್ ಅಡಾಪ್ಟಬಿಲಿಟಿ. ಹಾಳಾಗಬಲ್ಲವನು ಅರಸನಾಗಬಲ್ಲ ಅಂತ ಒಂದು ಮಾತಿದೆ. ಫ್ಲೆಕ್ಸಿಬಿಲಿಟಿ ಅಂತ ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಕಾಂಪ್ರಮೈಸ್ ಮಾಡ್ಕೊಳ್ಳೋದು ಅಂತಲ್ಲ, ಸಂದರ್ಭಕ್ಕೆ ತಕ್ಕಾಗಿ ಹುಲ್ಲಾಗು ಬೆಟ್ಟದಡಿ ಮನೆಗೆ ಮಲ್ಲಿಗೆ ಆಗು ಅಂದ್ರಲ್ಲ, ಹಾಗೆ ಎಲ್ಲಿ ಹೇಗಿರಬೇಕೋ ಅನ್ನೋದನ್ನ ಅರ್ಥ ಮಾಡ್ಕೊಂಡವನು ನಾಯಕನಾಗುವುದು ಸಹಜ. ಕಾಗ್ನಿಟಿವ್ ಎಬಿಲಿಟಿ ಅಂತ ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಎಬಿಲಿಟಿ ಟು ಥಿಂಕ್, ಇಮ್ಯಾಜಿನ್, ಇಂಟರ್ಪ್ರಿಟ್ ಹೈ ಇರ್ಬೇಕಾಗ್ತದೆ. ನೋಡಿದ ತಕ್ಷಣ ಅರ್ಥ ಮಾಡ್ಕೊಳ್ಳೋ ಶಕ್ತಿ ಇರ್ಬೇಕಾಗ್ತದೆ. ಎಜಿಲಿಟಿ ಅಂತೀವಿ ಅದನ್ನ, ಚಾಕಚಕ್ಯತೆ. ನೋಡಿದ ತಕ್ಷಣ ಅದನ್ನ ಅರ್ಥೈಸಿಕೊಂಡು ಅದಕ್ಕೆ ಸ್ಪಂದಿಸುವಂತ ಗುಣ ನಾಯಕನಾದವರಲ್ಲಿ ಇರ್ಬೇಕಾಗ್ತದೆ. ಇದರೊಟ್ಟಿಗೆ ಬಹಳ ಮುಖ್ಯವಾದದ್ದು ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಹಾನೆಸ್ಟಿ, ಇಂಟಿಗ್ರಿಟಿ. ಇದಕ್ಕೇನು ವಿವರಣೆ ಬೇಕಾಗಿಲ್ಲ, ಬಹಳಷ್ಟು ಸಂದರ್ಭಗಳಲ್ಲಿ ಮಿಸ್ ಆಗ್ಬಿಡ್ತವೆ. ಆ ಕಾರಣಕ್ಕೆ ನಾಯಕತ್ವ ಕೈಲಾಗ್ತದೆ. ಎಂಪತಿ ಇರಬೇಕಾಗುತ್ತೆ. ಎಂಪತಿ ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಸಿಂಪತಿ ಅಲ್ಲ, ಬೇರೆಯವರ ಸ್ಥಾನದಲ್ಲಿ ನಮ್ಮನ್ನಿಟ್ಟು ನಾವು ನೋಡ್ಕೊಳ್ಳುವಂತ ಒಂದು ಗುಣ ಎಂಪತಿ ಅಂದ್ರೆ. ನಾನೇ ಆ ಜಾಗದಲ್ಲಿದ್ರೆ ನಾನು ಹೇಗೆ ಯೋಚನೆ ಮಾಡ್ತಿದ್ದೆ ಅಂತ ಅನ್ಕೊಳ್ಳೋದಿದೆಯಲ್ಲ, ಅದನ್ನ ಎಂಪತಿ ಅಂತೀವಿ. ಬಹಳ ಮುಖ್ಯವಾಗಿ ವಿಷನ್ ಅಂಡ್ ಫೋರ್ಸೈಟ್. ವಿಷನ್ ಅಂದ್ರೆ ದೂರದೃಷ್ಟಿ. 10 ವರ್ಷಕ್ಕೆ ನನ್ನ ದೇಶ ಹೇಗಿರಬೇಕು, 10 ವರ್ಷಕ್ಕೆ ನನ್ನ ಸಂಘಟನೆ ಹೇಗಿರಬೇಕು ಅನ್ನುವಂತ ದೂರದೃಷ್ಟಿ ಒಬ್ಬ ನಾಯಕನಾದವನಿಗೆ ಇರ್ಬೇಕಾಗ್ತದೆ. ಈ ಒಟ್ಟಾರೆ ನಾಯಕನಾದವನಲ್ಲಿ ಇರಬೇಕಾದಂತ ಬಹಳ ಮುಖ್ಯವಾದ ಗುಣಗಳನ್ನ ನಾನು ಸಂಕ್ಷಿಪ್ತವಾಗಿ ಸ್ಕಿಲ್ ರೂಪದಲ್ಲಿ ಹೇಳೋದಾದ್ರೆ, ಎಮೋಷನಲ್ ಇಂಟೆಲಿಜೆನ್ಸ್ ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಎಬಿಲಿಟಿ ಟು ಮ್ಯಾನೇಜ್ ಸೆಲ್ಫ್ ಅಂಡ್ ಅದರ್ಸ್ ಎಮೋಷನ್. ಭಾವನಾತ್ಮಕವಾಗಿ ತನ್ನನ್ನ ಮತ್ತು ಇತರರನ್ನ ನಿಯಂತ್ರಿಸುವಂತ ಎಮೋಷನಲ್ ಇಂಟೆಲಿಜೆನ್ಸ್ ಆಗಿ ಒಂದು ಡ್ರೈವಿಂಗ್ ಫೋರ್ಸ್, ಯಾವಾಗಲೂ ಚಲನಶೀಲವಾದಂತ ಶಕ್ತಿ ಇರ್ಬೇಕಾಗ್ತದೆ. ಮೋಟಿವೇಶನ್, ಸೆಲ್ಫ್ ಮೋಟಿವೇಶನ್ ಇದ್ರೆ ಮಾತ್ರ ಬೇರೆಯವ್ರಿಗೆ ಮೋಟಿವೇಟ್ ಮಾಡಕ್ ಸಾಧ್ಯ. ನನಗೆ ಮೋಟಿವೇಶನ್ ಇಲ್ಲದೆ ಇರೋದನ್ನ ನಾವು ಬೇರೆಯವ್ರಿಗೆ ಅನ್ಸ್ಲಿಕ್ಕೆ ಆಗೋದಿಲ್ಲ. self-confidence, intelligence, and awareness of what you are doing. These things can make you a better leader. One concluding remark andre, leadership calls for a combination of strategy and character. If you are forced to be without one, be without strategy, but not without character. Character is the most important thing for a leader. This is all about leadership. ಇದು ಪಾಠ ಕೇಳೋದ್ರಿಂದ ಅಥವಾ ಕಾನ್ಸೆಪ್ಟ್ಗಳನ್ನ ಓದೋದ್ರಿಂದ ಬರುವಂತ ಕೌಶಲ್ಯ ಅಲ್ಲ. ಇದನ್ನ ನಾವು ತೊಡಗಿಸಿಕೊಳ್ಳೋದ್ರಿಂದ ಜೀವನದುದ್ದಕ್ಕೂ ನಾವು ಅನುಭವಿಸಿದ ಸಂದರ್ಭಗಳು, ನಾವು ಎದುರುಗೊಂಡ ವ್ಯಕ್ತಿಗಳಿಂದ ನಮ್ಮಲ್ಲಿ ರೂಪುಗೊಳ್ಳಬಹುದಾದಂತ ಮನೋಧರ್ಮ ನಮ್ಮನ್ನ ನಾಯಕರನ್ನಾಗಿ ರೂಪಿಸ್ತದೆ. ನಾಯಕನಾದವನು ಹಣದಿಂದಲೇ ಆಗಬೇಕು ಅಥವಾ ಇನ್ನೊಂದಿಂದಲೇ ಆಗ್ಬೇಕು ಅಂತಿಲ್ಲ. ಅವನ ವ್ಯಕ್ತಿತ್ವದಿಂದ ಬೇರೆಯವರ ಮೇಲೆ ಪರಿಣಾಮಕಾರಿಯಾದ ಪ್ರಭಾವವನ್ನು ಬೀರುವ ಸಾಮರ್ಥ್ಯವನ್ನು ಬೆಳೆಸ್ಕೊಂಡ್ರೆ ಅದನ್ನ ನಾವು ನಾಯಕತ್ವ ಅಂತ ಗುರುತಿಸಬಹುದು. ಇದಿಷ್ಟು ಲೀಡರ್ಶಿಪ್ ಬಗ್ಗೆ ಸಂಕ್ಷಿಪ್ತವಾದ ಮಾಹಿತಿ. ತಮಗೆ ಪ್ರಶ್ನೆ ಕೇಳಬೇಕು, ಟೀಕೆ ಮಾಡಬೇಕು ಅಂತ ಏನಾದ್ರು ಇದ್ರೆ ಅಥವಾ ಇನ್ನ ಹೆಚ್ಚಿನ ಮಾಹಿತಿಯನ್ನು ಏನಾದ್ರು ಯಾರಾದ್ರೂ ಹೇಳೋದಿದ್ರೆ ದಯಮಾಡಿ ಇನ್ನು ಕೆಲವು ನಿಮಿಷಗಳು ಮಾತಾಡ್ಬೋದು ನಾವು ಅಂತ ಅನ್ಕೋತೀನಿ. ಪ್ಲೀಸ್. ಪ್ರಶ್ನೆಗಳಿದೆಯಾ ಏನಾದ್ರು?
ಸರ್ ನಮಸ್ತೆ ಸರ್.
ನಮಸ್ಕಾರ, ಹೇಳಿ.
ಇತ್ತೀಚಿನ ದಿನಗಳಲ್ಲಿ ನಾಯಕತ್ವ ಎಲ್ಲ ಹೇಳಿದ್ರೆ ಅದಕ್ಕೆ ಸಂಬಂಧಪಟ್ಟ ಹಾಗೆ ವ್ಯತಿರಿಕ್ತವಾಗಿ ಇದು ಕಮ್ಯುನಿಟಿ ಈಗ ಇಂಟರಾಕ್ಟ್ ಆಗ್ತಿದೆ ಸರ್. ಅದಕ್ಕೆ ಸಂಬಂಧಪಟ್ಟ ಹಾಗೆ ಹೇಳ್ತೀರಿ ಸರ್?
ಅಲ್ಲ, ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಸಂಬಂಧಪಟ್ಟಾಗ ಅದ್ರಲ್ಲಿ ಹೇಳಕ್ ಏನಿಲ್ಲ. ಏನಂದ್ರೆ ನಾಯಕತ್ವ ಅನ್ನೋದು ಒಬ್ಬ ವ್ಯಕ್ತಿಯ ಗುಣಾತ್ಮಕವಾದ ಅಂಶ. ಆ ಗುಣಾತ್ಮಕವಾದ ಅಂಶಗಳಿಲ್ಲದವರು ಶಾರ್ಟ್ ಕಟ್ಗಳನ್ನ ಹುಡುಕೊಂಡು ಅದರ ಮೂಲಕ ತಮ್ಮ ವ್ಯವಹಾರವನ್ನ, ಉದ್ದೇಶವನ್ನ ಈಡೇರಿಸ್ಕೊಳ್ಳೋ ಪ್ರಯತ್ನ ಮಾಡ್ತಾರೆ. ಆದ್ರೆ ಅಂತ ಪ್ರಯತ್ನಗಳು ನಾಗರಿಕ ಸಮಾಜ ಹೆಚ್ಚು ದಿನ ಉಳ್ಕೊಳ್ಳೋದಿಲ್ಲ. ಅಂತವ್ರನ್ನ ಯಾರು ದೀರ್ಘಕಾಲದವರೆಗೆ ಗುರುತಿಸಲ್ಲ, ಗೌರವಿಸಲ್ಲ. ಇಟ್ಸ್ ಎ ಶಾರ್ಟ್ ಟರ್ಮ್ ಫೆನಾಮಿನಾ. ನೋಡಿ, ಎಲ್ಲಿವರೆಗೆ ನೀವು ಜನರನ್ನ ಮೆಸ್ಮರೈಸ್ ಮಾಡ್ಬೋದು, ಜನರಿಗೆ ಸತ್ಯದ ಅರಿವಾಗುವ ತನಕ. ಅದಾದ ತಕ್ಷಣ ಫಾಲೋವರ್ಸ್ ಎನಿಮೀಸ್ ಆಗ್ತಾರೆ. ನೀವು ನೋಡಿರ್ಬೋದು, ಒಂದಿನದ ಜೊತೆಗಾರರು ಇನ್ನೊಂದು ದಿನ ಎದುರಾಳಿಗಳಾಗ್ತಾ ಇರುವಂತ ಸಂದರ್ಭ ನಾವು ಕಾಣ್ತಾ ಇದ್ದೀವಿ. ಹಾಗಾಗಿ ಇಟ್ಸ್ ಎ ಶಾರ್ಟ್ ಸೈಟೆಡ್ ಸ್ಟ್ರಾಟಜಿ, ಇಟ್ಸ್ ನಾಟ್ ಎ ಪರ್ಮನೆಂಟ್ ಸೊಲ್ಯೂಷನ್.
Good evening, sir.
Sir.
I personally feel that a leader is one who is sensitive enough to understand the real problems of people.
Yes.
And he has to be sensitive enough. Like the modern day leaders have, again, they have lost that sensitivity.
It is not that they have lost sensitivity, but they are not respecting what is supposed to be respected. Don't think they don't know this, but their priorities are different.
Yes.
When your priority becomes different, you try to achieve that rather than caring for people. And I don't agree that they are not sensitive enough to understand this. They know, but they are selfish.
Selfish. True, sir.
Anything more? A leader must always help others to win. He should not become the winner, right? But today all our leaders want to win themselves. They want more people to lose, right? There is a popular saying, leaders are like a banyan tree. A banyan tree allows any plant to grow above it, not below it, right? Leaders must always think of the growth of others more than them. Above that, I respect the teachers as the leader because teachers enjoy the most by looking at the achievement of their students, that too what the students have achieved which they could not. Teachers are the people who feels proud by seeing the achievement of the students bigger than the parents in terms of quantity. That should be one of the character others must emulate in life. I think I'm more for teachers. Anything more, please comment. Okay, any more questions? Need not be question always, it can be a comment, criticism, suggestion for improvement also. If you think I have not covered anything, you can comment on that.
ಸರ್, ಇತ್ತೀಚೆಗೆ ರಾಜಕೀಯ ಕ್ಷೇತ್ರ ಮತ್ತೆ ಸಾಮಾಜಿಕ ಕ್ಷೇತ್ರದಲ್ಲಿ ರಿಯಲ್ ಎಸ್ಟೇಟ್ ಎಲ್ಲ ಹಣ ಮಾಡಿರೋರು, ಉದಾಹರಣೆ ಕೋವಿಡ್ ಸಮಯದಲ್ಲಿ ಕಿಟ್ಗಳನ್ನ ದಾನ ಮಾಡೋದು, ರಾಜಕೀಯ ವ್ಯಕ್ತಿಗಳು ಸಾಮಾಜಿಕ ಸೇವಕರ ಹೆಸರಿನಲ್ಲಿ ಲೀಡರ್ಗಳಾಗ್ತಾ ಇರೋದು ಹೆಚ್ಚು ಕಾಣ್ತಾ, ನಿಜವಾದ ಲೀಡರ್ಗಳಿಗೆ ತಾವು ಬೆಳಿಬೇಕು ಅಂತ ಒಂಥರ ಮೋಟಿವೇಟ್ ಆಗ್ತಾ ಇಲ್ಲ ಸರ್.
ಅದು ಏನಾಗಿದೆ, ಇವತ್ತು ಲೀಡರ್ಶಿಪ್ ಅನ್ನ ನಾವು ಯಾವುದರಿಂದ ಗುರುತಿಸ್ತೀವಿ ಅಂದ್ರೆ, ಯಾವುದು ಹೆಚ್ಚು ಪವರ್ಫುಲ್ ಆಗ್ತಾ ಇದೆಯೋ ಅದರಿಂದ ಗುರುತಿಸೋ ಪ್ರಾರಂಭ ಮಾಡಿದ್ವಿ. ಇತ್ತೀಚಿನ ದಿನಗಳಲ್ಲಿ ಹಣಬಲ ಎಲ್ಲವನ್ನೂ ಮಾಡುತ್ತೆ ಅನ್ನುವಂತ ಒಂದು ಹುಚ್ಚು ಅಥವಾ ತಪ್ಪು ಕಲ್ಪನೆ ಜನರಲ್ಲಿ ಇರೋದ್ರಿಂದ ಹಣವನ್ನೇ ಶಕ್ತಿ ಅಂತ ಅನ್ಕೋಬಿಟ್ಟಿದ್ವಿ. ಈ ಹಣವನ್ನೇ ಶಕ್ತಿ ಅಂತ ಭಾವಿಸಿದ ಸಮಾಜದಲ್ಲಿ ಇಂಥದ್ದೆಲ್ಲ ಆಗೋದು ಸಹಜ. ಆದ್ರೆ ಅದು ಕೂಡ ಹೆಚ್ಚು ದಿನ ಉಳ್ಕೊಳ್ಳಲ್ಲ. ನೀವು ಹಣಬಲದಿಂದ ಅಧಿಕಾರ ಹಿಡಿದವರು ಎಷ್ಟು ದಿನ ಇದ್ದಾರೆ ಅಂತ ನಮಗ್ ಗೊತ್ತು. ಈಗ ಲೀಡರ್ಶಿಪ್ ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಮಹಾತ್ಮ ಗಾಂಧೀಜಿ ಅವ್ರನ್ನ ನೆನಪು ಮಾಡ್ಕೊಂಡಾಗೆ, ಮದರ್ ತೆರೇಸಾ ಅವ್ರನ್ನ ನೆನಪು ಮಾಡ್ಕೊಂಡಾಗೆ, CV ರಾಮನ್ ಅವರನ್ನ ನೆನಪು ಮಾಡ್ಕೊಂಡಾಗೆ, ಡಾಕ್ಟರ್ ಅಂಬೇಡ್ಕರ್ ಅವ್ರನ್ನ ನೆನಪು ಮಾಡ್ಕೊಂಡಾಗೆ, ಹಣದಿಂದ ಅಧಿಕಾರ ಹಿಡಿದು ಯಾರನ್ನು ನಾವು ನೆನಪು ಮಾಡ್ಕೋತಾ ಇಲ್ಲ. ನಮ್ಗೆ ಯಾಕೆ ಲೀಡರ್ಶಿಪ್ ಅಂದ ತಕ್ಷಣ ಅದು ಬರೀ ಪಾಲಿಟಿಕ್ಸ್ ಅನ್ಕೋತೀವಿ ಅಂದ್ರೆ, ಅಧಿಕಾರವೇ ಎಲ್ಲವೂ ಅನ್ಕೊಂಡಿದೀವಿ, ಅಧಿಕಾರದಿಂದ ಎಲ್ಲವನ್ನೂ ಸಾಧಿಸಬಹುದು ಅನ್ಕೊಂಡಿದೀವಿ. ಆದ್ರೆ ಹಣದಿಂದ ಅಧಿಕಾರ ಅಂತಾನು ಅನ್ಕೊಂಡಿದೀವಿ. ರಾಜಕಾರಣದಲ್ಲೂ ಬಹಳ ದೊಡ್ಡ ದೊಡ್ಡ ಹೆಸರುಗಳಿದ್ದಾವೆ, ಅವರು ಹಣವಿಲ್ಲದೆ ರಾಜಕೀಯ ಮಾಡಿದವರಿದ್ದಾರೆ. ಆದ್ರೆ ಇವತ್ತು ಸಮಾಜದಲ್ಲಿ ಹಣದಿಂದ ಎಲ್ಲವನ್ನೂ ಮಾಡಬಹುದು ಅನ್ನುವಂತ ಒಂದು ಭ್ರಮೆ ಇದೆ. ಜನ ರಿಯಲೈಸ್ ಮಾಡ್ಕೋತಾರೆ. ಈ ಕೋವಿಡ್ ಕೆಲವು ಸಂದರ್ಭಗಳಲ್ಲಿ ಅದನ್ನ ರಿಯಲೈಸ್ ಮಾಡುತ್ತು, ಮನಿ ಇಸ್ ನಾಟ್ ಎವ್ರಿಥಿಂಗ್ ಅಂತ. ಆದ್ರೆ ಒಂದಂತೂ ಸತ್ಯ, ಇದ್ದವರು ಕೊಟ್ಟು ಬೇರೆಯವರನ್ನ ಇನ್ಫ್ಲೂಯೆನ್ಸ್ ಅಂದೆ. ನಾನು ಐ ಆಮ್ ಗೋಯಿಂಗ್ ಬ್ಯಾಕ್ ಟು ಸಿಂಪಲ್ ಡೆಫಿನೇಷನ್ ಆಫ್ ಲೀಡರ್ಶಿಪ್. ಲೀಡರ್ಶಿಪ್ ಈಸ್ ಅನ್ ಆಕ್ಟ್ ಆಫ್ ಇಂಪ್ರೆಸಿಂಗ್ ಅಂಡ್ ಇನ್ಫ್ಲೂಯೆನ್ಸಿಂಗ್ ಆನ್ ಅದರ್ಸ್ ಅಂತ. ಇಂಪ್ರೆಸಿಂಗ್ ಅಂಡ್ ಇನ್ಫ್ಲೂಯೆನ್ಸಿಂಗ್ ಆನ್ ಅದರ್ಸ್ ಅಂದ್ರೆ ನೀವು ಯಾವುದರ ಮೂಲಕ ಇಂಪ್ರೆಸ್ ಮಾಡಬಹುದು, ಯಾವುದರ ಮೂಲಕ ಇನ್ಫ್ಲೂಯೆನ್ಸ್ ಮಾಡಬಹುದು ಅನ್ನೋದು ಶಕ್ತಿಯಾಗಿರ್ತದೆ. ಇವತ್ತಿನ ಕಾಲಘಟ್ಟದಲ್ಲಿ ಹಣದ ಮೂಲಕ ಇನ್ಫ್ಲೂಯೆನ್ಸ್ ಮಾಡಬಹುದು. ಹಸಿದವನಿಗೆ ಅನ್ನವೇ ದೇವರು. ಹಸಿದವನಿಗೆ ಅನ್ನ ಕೊಟ್ಟರೆ ನೀವು ದೇವರಂತೆ ಕಾಣುತ್ತೀರಿ. ಆ ಕಾರಣಕ್ಕೆ ಅವನು ನಿಮ್ಮನ್ನು ಗೌರವಿಸ್ತಾನೆ. ದುಡ್ಡಿಲ್ಲದವರಿಗೆ ದುಡ್ಡು ಕೊಟ್ರೆ ದೇವರಂತೆ ಕಾಣುತ್ತಾರೆ, ಅವರನ್ನು ಗೌರವಿಸುತ್ತಾರೆ. ಆದ್ರೆ ಅದು ಅಂತ್ಯವಲ್ಲ. ಏನು ಅಂತ್ಯ? ಅದು ಉದ್ದೇಶ. ನಮ್ಮ ಗುರಿ ನಾವು ಡಿಫೈನ್ ಮಾಡ್ಕೊಂಡ್ರೆ ಆ ಗುರಿಗೆ ತಕ್ಕಂತ ನಡವಳಿಕೆಯನ್ನ ರೂಪಿಸ್ಕೊಳ್ಬೇಕಾಗ್ತದೆ. ಇವತ್ತಿನ ಕಾಲಘಟ್ಟದಲ್ಲಿ ಮನಿ ಹ್ಯಾಸ್ ಬಿಕಮ್ ದ ಮೋಸ್ಟ್ ಪವರ್ಫುಲ್ ವೆಪನ್. ಆ ಕಾರಣಕ್ಕೆ ಮನಿ ಕ್ಯಾನ್ ಡೂ ಎವ್ರಿಥಿಂಗ್ ಅನ್ನುವಂತ ಸಂದರ್ಭ ಸೃಷ್ಟಿಯಾಗಿದೆ. ಅದು ಒಂದು ಭ್ರಮೆ ಅಷ್ಟೇ, ಸಂಪೂರ್ಣ ಸತ್ಯ ಅಲ್ಲ. ನಾನೊಬ್ಬ ಮೇಸ್ಟ್ರಾಗಿ ಇಷ್ಟು ಮಾತ್ರ ಹೇಳ್ಬೋದು.
ಥ್ಯಾಂಕ್ ಯು ಸರ್.
ಥ್ಯಾಂಕ್ ಯು
ಸರ್.
ಹೇಳಿ ಸರ್, ಹೇಳಿ.
ವಂದನಾ.
ದಯವಿಟ್ಟು ಹೇಳ್ಬಿಡಿ, ವಂದನಾರ್ಪಣೆ ಮಾಡ್ಬಿಡಿ.
ಸರ್, ನನ್ನ ಹೆಸರು ಪರಮೇಶ್ವರ್ ನಾಯ್ಕ್ ಸರ್. ತಮ್ಮ ಲೀಡರ್ಶಿಪ್ ಮೋಟಿವೇಶನ್ ಇದ್ರ ಬಗ್ಗೆ ಬಹಳ ಗಂಭೀರವಾದ ಚಿಂತನೆಯನ್ನು ಮಾಡಿದ್ರಿ ಸರ್. ತುಂಬಾನೇ ಇಫೆಕ್ಟಿವ್ ಟೀಚಿಂಗ್ ಅನ್ನ ಕೊಟ್ಟಿರಿ ಸರ್. ಸೊ ಅದರಿಂದ HRDC ಇಂದ ಮತ್ತು ನಮ್ಮ ಪಾರ್ಟಿಸಿಪೇಟ್ ಇಂದ ಎಲ್ಲರ ಪರವಾಗಿ ನಾನು ಧನ್ಯವಾದಗಳನ್ನು ತಿಳಿಸ್ತಾ ಇದ್ದೀನಿ. ಧನ್ಯವಾದಗಳು.
Thank you, sir. Thank you very much, sir.
Effective communication. ಮಾತಾಡ್ತಾರೆ, ಇವ್ರು ಬರ್ತಾರೆ, ಯಾರ್ಯಾರು ಇದಾರೆ ಇಲ್ಲ ಏನಂತ ನೋಡ್ತಾರೆ.
ಮೋಸ್ಟ್ಲಿ ಹೋಸ್ಟ್ ಎಲ್ಲ ಹೊರಗಡೆ ಹೋಗಿರ್ತಾರೆ ಯಾರು, ಅದಕ್ಕೆ ಇದಾಗ್ತಾ ಇಲ್ಲ, ಕ್ಲೋಸ್ ಆಗ್ತಾ ಇಲ್ಲ.
ಸರ್ ಹೇಳಿ ಸರ್.
ಹೌದು ಸರ್ ಬಂದ್ರು.
ಹೋಸ್ಟ್ ಎಲ್ಲಿ ಹೋಗಲ್ಲ ಸರ್, ಇಲ್ಲೇ ಇರ್ತೀವಿ ಸರ್. ಕೇಳಿಸ್ತಾ ಶಬ್ದ ಬಂದ್ವಿ ಸರ್. ಸರ್ ಹೇಳಿ ಸರ್.
ಏನಿಲ್ಲ ಸರ್, ಬಹಳ ಚೆನ್ನಾಗಿತ್ತು ಕಾರ್ಯಕ್ರಮ.
ಕ್ಲಾಸ್ ಮುಗೀತಾ?
ಮುಗೀತು ಸರ್.
ಥ್ಯಾಂಕ್ಸ್ ಮಾಡಿದ್ರಾ?
ಮಾಡಿದ್ರು.
Thank you. I will meet tomorrow by 9:55. Okay, thank you.
Okay sir.
Don't be late. Okay.
Thank you, sir.
ತುಂಬಾ ಲೇಟ್ ಮಾಡಬೇಡಿ. 10 ಗಂಟೆ ಕರೆಕ್ಟ್ ಆಗಿ ಸ್ಟಾರ್ಟ್ ಮಾಡೋಣ. 9:55 ಜಾಯ್ನ್ ಆಗಿ.
Okay sir.
ಓಕೆ.